When Cierra Ortega walked into that Halloween party, she had no idea she was about to break the internet. The same party where her ex Nick and his new girlfriend Olandria were the main headliners. The same Olandria who used to be her friend in the Love Island villa. And when fans accused her of crashing their event, she didn't hide, she didn't apologize, she went live and said something that left everyone speechless. She said embarrassment doesn't exist, and what happened next turned into one of the messiest Love Island USA Season 7 sagas the internet has ever seen. This is the full story of how one party appearance sparked a war between Love Island fans, created thousands of viral videos, and forced everyone to ask one question. Was Cierra seeking attention, or was she just living her life? Because after you hear what she said on that live stream, you might see this whole Nicolandria versus Cierra situation completely differently. And real quick, if you're the type who loves diving into reality TV drama that's messier than your ex's Instagram stories, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want notifications on because Love Island drama waits for no one. Plus, if you don't subscribe, you might miss the next time someone crashes a party and breaks the internet. Don't be that person.
Let's rewind to where this all started, because to understand why Cierra showing up at that Halloween party caused such chaos, you need to know what happened inside that Love Island USA villa. Season 7 was already delivering drama, but when Cierra Ortega entered as a bombshell, everything shifted. She walked in with confidence, caught Nick's attention immediately, and within days they were one of the strongest couples in the villa. They weren't just casually dating, they were closed off, which in Love Island terms means exclusive. Nick had been coupled with Olandria before, but when Cierra arrived, he made his choice clear. The connection was real, or at least it looked that way. They had those deep conversations by the fire pit, shared laughs during challenges, and fans were already shipping them hard. It felt like they might actually make it outside the villa. But reality TV doesn't let anyone have a fairy tale ending without some chaos first. Everything was going smoothly until one night, production pulled Cierra aside. Old social media posts had resurfaced, posts where she'd used language that was offensive to the Asian community. She didn't know at the time, but those posts were already spreading online. Fans were demanding action. Love Island producers had to make a call. And just like that, Cierra's journey ended. No warning, no goodbye. One moment she was coupled up with Nick, planning their future outside the villa, and the next she was gone. The show didn't even give a full explanation at first. Host Ian Sterling simply said Cierra had left due to a personal situation, and that was it. Nick was left standing there, officially single, with no idea what just happened. For viewers watching at home, it was shocking. But what came next was even more unexpected.
Within hours of Cierra's exit, something wild happened. Nick, who had just lost his closed-off partner, suddenly wasn't that heartbroken anymore. America voted to recouple the Islanders, and guess who Nick ended up with? Olandria. The same Olandria he'd left for Cierra. The same Olandria who had been one of Cierra's closest friends in the villa. And here's where it gets interesting. The switch flipped fast. Like, really fast. One episode, Nick was devastated about Cierra leaving, talking about how much he cared about her. The next episode, he was grinning ear to ear, getting cozy with Olandria like nothing ever happened. Fans noticed. They started calling them Nicolandria, shipping them harder than any couple that season. Their chemistry was undeniable. They laughed together, supported each other through challenges, and by the finale, they'd become one of the most loved couples of the season. They didn't win, but they came in as runners-up, which in Love Island world still means you're a fan favorite. The edit they got was perfect, a friends-to-lovers story that everyone could root for. But while America was falling for Nicolandria, Cierra was watching from the outside, and she was far from okay.
Picture this. You leave a reality show under the worst circumstances possible. Your reputation is damaged, you're dealing with intense backlash online, and you have no idea what's happening inside that villa. Then you get your phone back, open social media, and the first thing you see is your ex moved on. Not just moved on, but moved on with your friend. And not only that, but the entire internet is obsessed with them. Edits everywhere. fan pages dedicated to Nicolandria, comments saying they're perfect together, that they were meant to be, that Nick clearly made the right choice. That's what Cierra came home to. And for a while, she stayed quiet. She issued an accountability video addressing the reason she left, taking full responsibility for her past mistakes. She seemed focused on growth, on moving forward. But the Nicolandria situation, that was eating at her. Because here's the thing that hurt the most. Neither Nic nor Olandria reached out. Not a text, not a call, nothing. She'd been closed off with Nic, shared real feelings with him, and when she left, he just moved on, like she never existed. Olandria, who she'd considered a friend, didn't check in either. It was like the moment she left that villa, she became invisible to both of them.
Cierra eventually opened up about it in a TikTok video that went viral. She talked about mourning a relationship that she thought was real, about coming home and realizing the guy she cared about never actually liked her. She said it felt like Nic wanted Olandria the entire time, and she was just in the way. That video struck a nerve. Some people felt for her, saying she deserved closure. Others thought she was being dramatic, that Nic and Olandria didn't owe her anything since she'd left the show. The debate raged on for weeks. And just when it seemed like the drama was finally calming down, Halloween happened. Before we get into the party disaster, quick reminder. If you're still not subscribed, what are you even doing? Click that button so you don't miss out on more reality TV chaos. And hey, leave a comment down below telling me whose side you're on in this mess. Team Cierra? Team Nicolandria? Or team everyone needs therapy? Let me know.
October rolled around and Nic and Olandria had a big event on their schedule. They were guest hosting Agua de Kefer's Halloween party in LA. Their faces were on the flyers, their names were everywhere. It was supposed to be their night, a celebration of Nicolandria and everything their fans loved about them. The venue was packed. People showed up dressed in costumes, ready to party with their favorite Love Island couple. Everything was going according to plan until Cierra walked in. Now, let's be clear about something. This wasn't technically a private party. It was a public event. Cierra lives in LA. She had every right to go. But context matters. This was Nicolandria's event. Their names were literally on the advertisement. And when Cierra showed up, people immediately felt some type of way about it. She didn't sneak in quietly either. She posted Snapchat stories, Instagram clips, quick flashes of the venue. And in one of those snaps, if you looked closely, you could see Nic and Olandria in the background. That's when the internet lost it.
Fans started screen recording her posts, reposting them with captions like, "Wait, is Cierra at their party?" The comments came fast. Some people thought it was bold. Others called it desperate. Terms like crashing started getting thrown around. People said she was trying to insert herself back into the narrative, that she couldn't let go, that she was seeking attention. And then came the moment that really set everything off. Someone filmed Cierra near the stage when the DJ played Don't Cha by the Pussycat Dolls. You know the song, the one with the lyrics, "Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?" Whether it was intentional or not, the timing was brutal. Fans took that clip and ran with it. TikTok exploded. Reddit threads started popping up with titles like, "Cierra really showed up to Nicolandria's party and danced to that song?" Twitter was a war zone. People were making memes, creating edits, dissecting every frame of her posts. The consensus among Nicolandria fans was clear. Cierra was out of line.
But not everyone agreed. A whole other side of the internet came to her defense. They argued LA is a small scene, especially for influencers and reality stars. Events overlap. People run into each other. It's not that deep. They pointed out that Cierra was likely invited by someone else, that she had every right to be there, and that fans were making drama out of nothing. The debate got heated. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. People were writing full paragraphs defending their stance. And while all of this was happening, Cierra was watching. She saw the clips, she saw the accusations, she saw thousands of people calling her desperate, embarrassing, attention-seeking. And instead of disappearing or issuing some apologetic statement, she did something completely unexpected. She went live. The live stream started casually. Cierra looked calm, maybe even a little amused by the whole situation. People flooded in, expecting her to either apologize or explain herself. But she didn't do either. Instead, she gave one of the most confident, unbothered responses the internet had seen in a while. Someone in the comments asked how she deals with negativity. Her answer? She said she's heard it all at this point. That early on, the hate got to her, but now it just bounces off. She explained that if she let it affect her, she'd be validating lies. And here's the part that really stuck with people. She said the people spreading hate aren't people she'd ever want to switch lives with. That if someone isn't better than you, their opinion doesn't matter. It was a mindset shift that resonated with a lot of viewers. But the quote that went viral, the one that turned into a whole movement, came when someone asked if she felt embarrassed posting despite all the slander. Her response was simple: no. She said embarrassment doesn't really exist if you think about it, that there's power in just being yourself, in not being afraid to be seen, trying.
That line hit different, because in a world where everyone's terrified of looking desperate or cringe or trying too hard, Cierra was saying she didn't care. She wasn't scared of judgment. She wasn't going to stop living her life because the internet had opinions. And whether you agreed with her or not, you had to admit it was bold. The chat exploded. Some people were inspired, saying she was handling it like a pro. Others thought she was deflecting, that she was acting unbothered as a defense mechanism. But one thing was undeniable. Cierra wasn't hiding anymore. She'd faced the backlash head on, and she came out swinging. Not with aggression, but with confidence. And that's when the real conversation started.
The clips from that live stream spread everywhere. TikTok edits, YouTube commentary videos, Reddit deep dives. Everyone had an opinion. Some fans turned the "embarrassment doesn't exist" quote into motivational content. It started showing up under videos of people trying new things, failing publicly, refusing to feel ashamed. It became bigger than Cierra. It became a cultural moment about authenticity and self-acceptance. But not everyone was buying it. Critics argued that her confidence felt performative, that she was using the situation to stay relevant. One viral tweet said, "She's acting like she's above the drama while still talking about the drama." Another post claimed she knew exactly what she was doing, that every move was calculated for engagement. And honestly, they had a point. Because lover or hater, Cierra's name was back in everyone's mouth. Her follower count started climbing again. Commentary channels were making videos about her. She'd successfully redirected a negative narrative into a conversation about empowerment. That's not luck, that's strategy.
But here's where things get complicated. The conversation around Cierra's live stream started raising bigger questions. Questions about authenticity, about what it means to be unbothered online, about whether confidence can be real when it's being performed for an audience. Some people pointed out that if you're truly over something, you don't need to announce it. Others argued that Cierra had every right to defend herself, that staying silent would have been seen as guilt. Psychology-focused pages started analyzing the concept of digital armor, the way influencers project strength until it eventually becomes real. One quote that went viral said, "If you act unbothered long enough, eventually you are." And maybe that's the truth. Maybe Cierra wasn't fully unbothered yet, but she was choosing to act like it until she got there. And in the process, she was inspiring others to do the same. But performing confidence comes with a cost, because once you build your image on being strong, the internet expects you to stay that way forever. You can't have a bad day without people calling you fake. You can't show vulnerability without it being used against you. It's exhausting.
And that's the reality of living online. Every emotion is scrutinized. Every post is analyzed.
You can't just exist. You have to curate your existence. Make sure it fits the narrative you've built. For Cierra, that meant staying unbothered, no matter what. But behind the scenes, she was still processing. Still dealing with the fact that Nic moved on in less than 24 hours. Still hurt that Olandria never reached out. Still mourning a relationship that might have been real for her, but clearly wasn't for him. The live stream was powerful, sure, but it was also armor. A way to protect herself from more pain. And maybe that's okay. Maybe we all need armor sometimes. As the days went by, something interesting happened. The drama started to fade, but not completely. Cierra stopped posting about the party. She shifted her content to lifestyle clips, workout videos, brand deals. It felt more curated, more intentional, like she was separating herself from the narrative. Meanwhile, Nic and Olandria kept doing their thing, posting couple content, going to events together, being the perfect Love Island success story. But anytime they posted, Cierra's name found its way into the comments. People couldn't let it go. They'd bring up the party, the live stream, the whole messy timeline. It became this thing that just wouldn't die. And maybe that's because the story never really ended. Nic and Olandria never addressed it publicly. Cierra never got her closure. The internet never got a resolution. So the conversation just kept looping, kept bringing everyone back to the same questions. Who was right? Who was wrong? Was Cierra moving on or seeking attention? Was she confident or just pretending? All right, last call for that subscribe button. If you've made it this far without subscribing, I'm starting to think you enjoy missing out on drama. Don't do that to yourself. Hit subscribe, smash that like button, and drop a comment telling me what you think about this whole situation. And if you want more Love Island chaos, I've got a whole playlist waiting for you. The truth is, this story isn't really about a Halloween party. It's about what happens when your personal life becomes public entertainment. When a breakup isn't just between two people, it's between two people and millions of strangers with opinions. Cierra didn't just lose Nic. She lost him in front of an audience. She had to watch him move on while the world cheered for his new relationship. She had to see fan edits of Nic and Olandria set to romantic songs while she was still processing what happened. And when she finally showed up somewhere he was, she got dragged for it. That's the cost of reality TV fame. Your pain becomes content. Your healing becomes a spectacle. And every move you make is dissected by people who don't know you but feel entitled to judge you anyway. But here's what Cierra understood that a lot of people don't. In 2025, visibility is currency. The people who control their narrative, who refuse to be silenced or shamed, are the ones who last. Cierra could have disappeared after that party incident. She could have issued a tearful apology, deleted her posts, gone quiet, but she didn't. She faced it directly, flipped the script, and turned backlash into a conversation about confidence. And whether you think that's genuine growth or calculated strategy, it worked. Because we're all still talking about her. The internet might have tried to shame her, but she outlasted the outrage. She reminded everyone that the best response isn't always louder. Sometimes it's just lasting longer. Sometimes it's refusing to give people the reaction they want. Sometimes it's saying embarrassment doesn't exist and actually believing it.
Now, where does that leave us? Cierra's moved on to building her brand outside of Love Island drama. Nic and Olandria are still together, still thriving as a couple, and the internet has mostly moved on to the next scandal. But every once in a while, when Nicolandria posts something, you'll see Cierra's name in the comments, a reminder that some stories don't get clean endings. Some situations just exist in this weird space where no one was fully right or fully wrong, where everyone was just trying to protect themselves and ended up hurting each other in the process. And maybe that's the real lesson here, that reality TV creates impossible situations, that fame complicates healing, that moving on is hard enough without an audience keeping score. So, what do you think? Was Cierra's appearance at that party a power move or a mistake? Was her live stream response genuine confidence or performance art? Is she really unbothered, or is she just really good at pretending? Let me know in the comments, because this conversation is far from over. And if this video taught you anything, let it be this. The next time the internet tries to shame you for existing, remember what Cierra said. Embarrassment doesn't exist if you don't let it. Now go out there and live your life like you've got nothing to prove, because honestly, you don't.